Yes, that is what you are. Teach only love. That is what you are. And teach only love. Everywhere you go, teach only love. To everyone you know, teach only love. Love is what you are. Hey, yeah. Let me recognize the problem so the problem can be solved. Let me recognize the problem so your problems can be solved. Teach only love. Each and every day, teach only love. Special way, teach only love. Love is what you are. Welcome to the Way of Mastery. Welcome to the Way of Mastery on Facebook Live. This is Earl Purdy. And I'm glad to have you here with me, my mighty companions, so we can go even deeper tonight. Teach only love, because that's what you are. Teach only love. Yeah, you're a shining star. Only love. That is what you are. Let me recognize the problem so the problem can be solved. Let me recognize the problem so the problem can be solved. Teach only love. Each and every day, only love. In each and every way, teach only love. Love is what you are. Welcome to the Way of Mastery. Recognize that you don't have to believe it, you don't have to accept it, you don't have to welcome it. Some of the ideas are going to be hard to believe, some of the ideas are going to be quite startling. But if you use the ideas, and don't judge the ideas, but use the ideas, you will see that the ideas will show you that the ideas are true. So remember, you don't have to believe it, you don't have to accept it, you don't have to welcome it. Some of it's going to be hard to believe. Now listen to me. Some of it's going to be hard to believe. Shoo-na-da-da, shoo-na-da-da, love is what you are. Hey. Shoo-na-da-da, shoo-na-da-da, love is what you are. Shoo-na-da-da, shoo-na-da-da, love is what you are. That's what you are. Yeah. Let me recognize the problem so the problem can be solved. Teach only love. Teach only love. Teach only love. Yeah. Teach only love, for that is what you are. Oh, you are. Love is what you are, mighty companion. Love is what you are, mighty companion. Let me tell you, welcome to the Way of Mastery with Earl Purdy on Facebook Live. And we already have a lot of mighty companions that are joining us, and I'm so happy to see you. I'm glad that the family is coming together again tonight. And just wanted to give a shout out to Sarah and Kathy and Shahira and Elizabeth and Sophia and Judith and Rick and Antonella, Kim, John. I just want to tell all of you, it's a pleasure, all the rest of you that are coming on, it's a pleasure to do the Way of Mastery. And remember, my goal is to bring it to life so that you can hear it And then your own inner self, your own higher power will give you the things for you to focus on and for you to emphasize and for you to remember. So I am glad that you're here with me on Facebook Live again. And tonight we're going to be on page 363, which is in the way of knowing, in the way of mastery, in the way of knowing, in the way of, thank you for the hearts, sending you out lots and lots and lots of love. I'm telling you. Thank you for sending me this love. We're going to be on page 363, in the way of knowing, and we're going to be on we're going to start with the section called Review, where you have placed your loyalty. Review where you have placed your loyalty. We're going to review where you have placed your loyalty. I want to invite you to comment, to ask questions, to share, especially with each other. And please share the video right there before you. You got the option to share right where you would make comments. And so just share the video on your timeline. Let's draw more of our mighty companions to us, because there are a lot of us out there that really want to look at things differently right now. I'm telling you, it's a lot going on in the dream. It's a lot going on in the dream. And so my emphasis is always on us hearing it, not analyzing it, but hearing it. So it says, look well then, beloved friends, over the next 30 days, enjoy merely looking at where you have placed your loyalty in the past. Where have you placed your loyalty in the past? Where have I placed my loyalty in the past? I'm just as much a student of this as you are, so you're going to find that I'm going to call my name as well as address you, mighty companion, because we are both equal as teachers and learners. So where have you placed your loyalty in the past? What's the thing that you've been very loyal to in the past? And then ask yourself, where are you placing your loyalty now? Where are you placing your loyalty now? I want you to look at the grand journey that you've made. Take a look at your journey. Take a look at the journey you've made. And did you hear that the Way of Mastery called it the grand journey? That all you have been experiencing is a grand journey? So, what on earth changed your loyalty from a teddy bear, which is pretty much what our loyalty is when we're a child, little baby, to God? What made you change your loyalty in this grand journey called your life? What made you change your loyalty from a teddy bear to God, if not God? So what changed your loyalty to God from a teddy bear was God herself. So don't think that you've ever been apart from God. For in each moment of your experience, even as you believed in the illusions that the body's eyes would show you, even as you have believed in the false ideas that your body's eyes would show you, already that one, God, who is but love, God is working to dissolve your illusions. Do you know that God is working to dissolve your illusions? God is working to dissolve your fears. Do you know that God is working to dissolve your fears? Do you know that God is working to dissolve your anxiety? Do you know that God is working to dissolve your depression? Do you know that God is working to dissolve your anger? Do you know that God is working to dissolve any grievances that you might have? One by one. But it's going to happen in a way that's unique to the dynamics of your soul. So you have a special curriculum. And the way that God is going to dissolve all of your fears and anxieties and illusions is going to be unique to your own soul. So you have your own individual path. You have your own individual way that all of your fears and anxieties and illusions are going to be dissolved. It says, when the ship sails into the harbor, it's home. The long journey is forgotten. Perhaps there will be a few stories told in the pub as everyone has a beer. But in a day or two, in a week, In a month, the journey fades from your awareness. And it's just going to be friends being together, growing flowers, dancing in the evenings, observing the sunset, and giving hugs and kisses. So after the long journey, it's going to be cool. We're going to be partying like a big dog. We're going to be enjoying ourselves at a level that's far beyond our wildest imagination. When the ship sails into the harbor, the journey is over. And there is only calm water. Though around the calm water, storms may rage. Let it. Let the storm of life rage. Let the storm rage. I know it looks like it's a lot going on in the world around us. I know it looks like sometimes there's total insanity and fear in the world. Let the storm rage. Identify with the peace that's beyond all understanding. That's a peace that comes as a mind chooses and comes to choose only identity with love. I am love. I am love. Who am I? I am love. Who are you? You are love. You are love. You are love. You are love. Peace, beloved friends, peace is the result of the shift of identity. So what does that mean, that peace is of the shift of identity? Well, the shift into your true identity. And your true identity is what? Love. It's going to emerge by placing your trust, your shift to your true identity, which is love. It's going to emerge by placing your trust, placing your loyalty only in God, the one who is only love. Okay, so let me get this straight. Okay, I was just told that, okay, I need to identify with peace that's beyond all understanding. It's only going to happen when I choose to identify with love. So identifying with love is going to come from a shift of identity. And the way that you have a shift of identity, how do we have a shift of identity? It says through placing your trust and loyalty in God, who is only love. So another term for God is love. The other name for God is love. It's funny. Every week when I do this Way of Mastery class, I'm not kidding you, the alarm in somebody's car goes off exactly at the beginning of this class, two out of 4 times that I do it. I love it. And just since I called it out, it just stopped. So what are you supposed to do with everything else but God and identifying with love? What are you supposed to do with everything else? Well, Yeshua says that what we're supposed to do with everything else is let it crumble. Let everything in your life other than love, let it crumble. Let it go. Does it mean you need to give up your money? Am I talking about you need to give up money? Of course not. Because if you gave up money, that would be saying that money has a power to bind you. If you think getting rid of money will free you, well, that's a mistaken perception, because do you know that that's you thinking that money has the power to control you? If something doesn't have the power to control you, whether you have it or not, well, obviously that thing is not something that you have to make sure you don't have, because it can't control you any more than if you didn't have it. So neither the having of money or the lack of money can bind you or limit you. Having money cannot limit you. Having money cannot limit you. Having money cannot really limit you. Having money cannot limit you. Not having money cannot limit you. Not having any money doesn't limit you. Not having any money doesn't limit you. Having money doesn't limit you. Having a whole lot of money does not limit you. So what is it that limits you? What is it that can make you suffer? What is it that can limit you then? What is it that can make you suffer? Well, I'll tell you what it is. What can limit you, Raj, and what can make you suffer is your decision not to love. Do you know that it's only the decision not to love that can bind you and make you suffer? So does that mean wherever you are suffering in your life would be where you are not allowing your awareness of love to be the strongest awareness that you have? Yes. Having money, not having money can't limit you. Having a special relationship, not having a special relationship can't limit you. Having the kind of outer career that you want or not having the kind of outer career that you want can't limit you. Having the kind of health that you think you want or not can't limit you. The only thing that can limit you is the decision not to love, the decision not to free. That's the only thing that can appear to limit or bind you. So what should you do? Well, what you should do is love everything. What is loving everything? It's giving perfect freedom to every created thing. And I'm sorry, your partner, your mate, your children, your boss, everybody in your life, they are created things. So you have to give freedom, perfect freedom. And another word for perfect is complete. Another word for perfect is complete. So to give love so that you are not bound and suffering, you give complete freedom to all created things, because everything that's created doesn't belong to you. Everything that was created, it wasn't given to you to give you security or to boost your ego or to make you happy. All created things, in the sense that we try to use them for our own specialness, I was not created to give you security. I wasn't created to boost your ego. I wasn't created to make you happy. Not at an ego level of my job is to act out your fantasies and your scripts, and I have to do it the way you want to do it so that I can make you happy. I was not created for that, and no one in your life was created to act out your scripts and your fantasies. But at the same time, every created thing was given for your enjoyment. Every created thing has been given for your enjoyment. So how do I really enjoy you? You were given to me for my enjoyment. So how do I enjoy you? The way that I enjoy you is to bless you. Enjoying you and blessing you are the same thing. So you were given to me for me to bless you. I was given to you for you to bless me. Everything in your life was given to you for your enjoyment and for your blessing. For the Christ who walks this earth, and the Christ is nothing but what? Your true self, the part of you that knows the truth, the part of you that only loves, the part of you that identifies with love, that's the Christ. The Christ who walks this earth knows his or her primary purpose. When you awake, do you know what your primary purpose is? When you awake, your primary purpose is to bless God's creations. Do you hear me? Your primary purpose for being here is to set all things free in the sanctity of their own deep and perfect union with God. You're on the planet to bless God's creations. You are on the planet to set all things free. So what is one definition of blessing me according to the way of mastery? Well, one of the ways of blessing me and one of the ways of blessing you according to the way of mastery would be for me to set you free in the sanctity of your own deep and perfect union with love. I want to set you free in your own deep and perfect union with God. I want to set you free. I'm going to bless you. I'm going to set you free. I want you to bless me. Bless me. Set me free. Set me free in your mind. Set me free. So how do you thank you for the heart. Y'all shooting out a lot of love tonight. I can feel it. It feels good. It really does. It really does. This has been a time of very deep transformation for me mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. And so to be with my mighty companions is such a thrill and such a blessing for me, because I'm learning just like you are learning. We're both learning together. We have each other, mighty companion. So how do I bless all things? How do you bless all things? Well, the way that you bless all things is to seek to possess nothing or no one. Don't try to possess anyone. Don't try to possess anyone. Don't try to possess anything. Don't seek to change anything. Don't seek to change anyone. So if you're not going to try to change anyone, and if you're not going to try to change anything, and you're not going to try to bless, and you're not going to try to possess anything, and you're not going to try to possess anyone, because you want to bless everything by setting it free in its own deep union and perfect union with God, how do you do that? You seek only to love. I just want to love you. I just want to love you. I just want to love. I just want to love. I just want to free you. I just want to love you. I just want to free you. I just want to love you. That's the same as saying I just want to free you. Means I just want to love you. Means I just want to free you. And in love, you are set free. So, how can you tell if someone really loves you? How can you tell if someone really loves you? Well, the way I can tell if someone really loves me is they will set me free, even though I'm already free. It's kind of funny to hear about someone else setting you free, but that's the way we play the game. We have a tendency to act like if we're in a relationship with someone, that they have the power to free us or not free us, even to the point that we'll say to them, you're going to have to free me. You're going to have to set me free. And so the way of mastery is saying, okay, even if you're playing in that paradigm, set the person free. Set them free. Don't try to change them. Don't try to possess them. Free them to have their own deep and perfect union with God. That's blessing the people that you love. So then as you conclude this lesson, simply make the decision to spend 5 minutes doing nothing but loving all that you see through your body's eyes. So take 5 minutes to just love everything you see, which is the same as saying take 5 minutes to free everything you see. I free everything I see. I free everything I see. I free everyone I see. I free everything I see. I free everyone I see. I free you means I love you. I free you means I love you. Make the decision to spend 5 minutes doing nothing but loving all that you see through the body's eyes, all that you notice arising in your mind, even if it's as a memory, even if it's as an image of a friend or what have you, or an event, any event that's occurred, any event that's ever occurred in your life. This is what I want you to hear, what I want you to do with any event that has ever happened to you. I'm going to tell you what you need to do with any event that's ever happened to you. What I want you to do with any event that's ever happened to you is simply decide to love it. Love any event. Wait a minute, I can think of a few events that I wouldn't particularly think I should love, like the night before I graduated from high school, someone ran into my brother's brand new car that he let me have the night before I graduated and caused the accelerator to jam, and I ended up going through the wall of somebody's house, knocking them out of the bed with 6 of my closest friends in the car with me, and in my brother's brand new car. So you can imagine the night before graduation from high school. So you could imagine that I wasn't the happiest kid on the block the day of my graduation. So this was an event that has occurred in the illusion. So I'm simply to decide to love it. That's all, which means I should simply decide to free that event. Let that event go. Free it. Free that event. Let that event go. Then try to tell yourself that peace is a long way off, but actually peace is present in every decision for love. So by me deciding to free that event, by me deciding to love that event, which sounds kind of deep now, I have actually allowed myself to be present in the decision for love. So loving something could be as easy as letting it go. Loving something could actually be releasing it. So loving an event could just be simply freeing that event, because that event at this point is only happening in my mind anyway. So if I was to free that event in love, then I would be freeing that event from guilt. And to show you how incredible love came through, let me give you an example of love. The example of love was that my brother, you can imagine that I had a real challenge telling my brother about his brand new car being totaled, because he was in New Orleans kicking it up, having a good time, was going to do a really nice favor to his younger brother, let him have his brand new car. And so I had to tell him what happened, right? And do you know that my brother responded with total love? He did not go off. I do not recall him getting angry at me. And you know, he ended up having to pay for that car that was gone because I didn't have insurance on it. And my brother freed me. He freed me from guilt. He showed me love. He never brought it up again. He never waved his finger in my face or tried to make me feel anything other than completely innocent. So what did my brother do? My brother decided to make a decision for love. He made a decision to free me from any kind of guilt. And my brother made his transition almost 16 years ago. And so even right now, I can make the decision to free him in love and to see him in love. We used to say all the time we were best friends who just happened to be brothers. That was the way we always described. He looked just like me, except he was very light-skinned. So it was like looking at a yin-yang or a negative to see us together. So think of some event in your life and free it. Decide to love it. Therefore, indeed, with perfect trust and perfect loyalty, I look upon you, I look at you in perfect loyalty, I look at you in perfect trust, and already know that you are born on the wings of love. The wings of love that carry you away to love. I want you to be born on the wings of love that carry you away to love. I want you to be born on the wings of freedom that carry you away to freedom. I look upon the holy and only begotten child of God. You are the holy, innocent, only begotten child of God. God has only one creation. There's only one of us here. There's only one of us here. I know it looks like it's a lot of us here, but there's only one of us here. So I look upon you, the holy and only begotten child of God, and I know that the dream of separation has already been corrected. What is it about the dream of separation that needs to be corrected? The idea that we're separate. That's the only thing that needs to be corrected in this dream of separation, is that we're separate. And you now can live in perfect safety. You are the holy child of God, and the dream of being separate from each other and being separate from God has been corrected. So you are in perfect safety now. You are in perfect safety now. Do you know that the events of space and time, all the things that are happening in space and time, are you aware that everything that's happening in space and time can never touch or alter your spirit? You have a spirit that's never been changed and that has never been affected by anything that's ever happened to you in your life, even if it was something that frightened you or caused suffering in your perception, or whether it was the greatest thing that could have ever happened to you. Nothing touches your spirit. Your spirit is invulnerable. Your spirit cannot be hurt. Your spirit cannot die. Who you really are cannot die. Who you really are can never be affected by anything that's going on in this dream world that we are appearing to be in right now. That when I say nothing can touch you and nothing can touch your spirit, I'm saying that nothing can touch the pure intelligence that you really are. In your truest nature, you are pure intelligence. You are pure intelligence. In your truest nature, you are pure intelligence. You are infinite awareness. You are infinite awareness. Let yourself hear that. You are infinite awareness. You are infinite awareness. And I want you to know that that music at the very beginning, Teach Only Love, that was my brother in spirit. His name is John Christmas. So you can find that music at johnchristmas.com, johnchristmas.com, because I want to give my brother an opportunity for his music to be shared with all of you. So what is the truth of who you are? Here's a quick quiz. What is the truth of who you are? What is the truth of who you are? You are infinite awareness, you are pure intelligence, and you are spirit, pure intelligence, infinite awareness. You are infinite awareness, you are pure intelligence, and you are spirit. That's the truth of who you are. You are not a body, you have a body. You are not a body, you have a body. You are not your body, you have a body. You have a body, you are not a body. You have a body, you are not a body. You are spirit, you are pure intelligence, and you are infinite awareness. You are infinite awareness, you are pure intelligence, you are spirit. So it's up to you to decide to enjoy that power of awareness. It's up to you to decide whether or not you're going to enjoy the power of awareness that you have, Raj. Mighty companion, it's up to you whether or not you're going to enjoy the power of your awareness. It's up to you. It's up to you whether or not you're going to enjoy the power of your awareness. How do you enjoy the power of awareness? How do you enjoy awareness power? You have awareness power. How do you enjoy awareness power? The way that you enjoy awareness power is by selecting only loving thoughts. I'm going to choose only loving thoughts. I'm going to choose only freeing thoughts. I'm going to choose only thoughts that free. I'm going to choose only thoughts that have to do with love. In doing that, I am going to enjoy the power of my awareness. We have to enjoy the power of awareness. How do you enjoy the power of awareness? What did I say? How do you enjoy the power of awareness? The way you enjoy the power of awareness, the way you enjoy the power of awareness, the way you enjoy the power of awareness, the way you enjoy the power of awareness is through selecting only loving thoughts, selecting only thoughts that free you. Thoughts that free you are thoughts that allow you to focus on your deep, perfect union with God. Peace, beloved friends. Let that peace be with you always. Amen. So let's see some of the comments that we have. Elizabeth is sending out lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of hearts. I tell you, some love coming at me tonight. And I can't get to everybody, but I'm just going to glance through some of them because we're having such great responses tonight. CJ says, I choose the power of awareness by making intentional choices to reside in love. So we have to make intentional choices to reside in love. Kim says, is it that we are not separate because we are the image of God, which is the spirit and all that is, the loving energy everywhere in the physical body, and the physical body in the physical world that is finite? So we are all one spirit, and that is why we are not separate. Yes. Yes, that's right. Enjoy me by selecting only loving thoughts. I am enjoying you, Kathy, by accepting only loving thoughts about you. Ashley says, I'm going to choose only loving thoughts. That's right, Ashley. You better choose only loving thoughts, girl. I'm telling you. Infinite awareness is pure intelligence and a spirit with a great sense of humor. That's right. Jim, very strong, triggering for me from this live feed. I'm glad that that's happening, brother. CJ, we are infinite awareness. Trisha, life is exhausting. Sometimes it can feel that way, Trisha. I hear you. I feel you. Sophia says that event seemed painful and pointless, but I was mistaken in that judgment. It was a huge opportunity to free and love and heal the mind of God's own beloved one. That's exactly right. Kathy says, free my shame experiences. Kathy, please kiss the shame, release guilt, make the decision for love now. And I join you totally in that, Kathy. Brooke says, love every event that ever happened to you. That means free it in innocence. That's right. That is so right. Good. I love it. I love it. I love it. Amal says, I'm here to love, bless, and set free. Judith says, I like to hear Earl, but hearing or not hearing is not contingent on my being able to receive love. That's right. You're going to receive love, Judith, no matter what. That is exactly right. Brooke says, powerful. Juan says, I bless the world. And that's exactly what you're here for, brother, to bless the world. That's why we're on the planet. That is for sure. Claire says, money or not money is given for my enjoyment and for me to bless. That's right. You're blessed. Whether you have it or not, it cannot bind you. It cannot limit you. So Shahira says, the decision not to love is the only thing that can limit me. The decision not to love, Shahira, that is the only thing that can limit you and the only thing that can limit me. I love how we all make it. Marlette, hey everyone, what's going on? What's happening? Okay, all righty. It's so good to be with the family. So good to be with the family. All right, so let's go to the next section. Right. Lesson 32. Da-da-da-da. The longing of the soul is to know love. The longing of the soul is to know love. The longing of the soul is to know love. The longing of the soul is to know love. The longing of the soul is to know love. The longing of the soul is to know love. The longing of the soul is to know love. Say what? You're not a victim of the world you see. You're not a victim.
I'm not a victim of the world I see. I'm not a victim of the world I see. I'm not a victim, no, of the world I see. I'm not a victim of my mom. I'm not a victim of my mom. I'm not a victim of events or circumstance at all. I'm not a victim of the world I see. I'm not a victim of the world I see. 'Cause what's happening now is what I've done to me.
Beloved and holy friends, we come forth to seek yet again of the essence of all that you seek and all that you are. With great devotion and with unceasing praise, we share with you that which alone can set God's child free, that which alone enlightens your heart, that which alone purifies your heart, that which alone brings about the serenity of the soul. What then could such a subject be? What theme could all of these words point to? Indeed, what does the morning sunrise point to? What does the sound of a children's laughter point to? Beloved friends, what does the very breath that you breathe point to? What do all things of creation point to? What do all things of creation point to? For I have said unto you before, there is nothing you can create that doesn't express your longing to awaken. There's nothing you can create that does not express your longing to awaken. Everything that you express, everything that you create expresses your longing to wake up. You have a yearning to wake up. Raj, you want to wake up. You want to wake up. You really want to wake up. Everything that you express is because you want to wake up. Everything that you express is because you want to wake up. Therefore, all doing, everything you do in your body, everything that you do with your mind that seems to be in your body is nothing but the attempt of your soul to break free. Everything that you're doing is the attempt of your soul to break free. Everything that you are doing is just an attempt of your soul to break free. Everything that I am doing is nothing but an attempt of my soul to break free. Everything that I'm doing this right now, is nothing but an attempt of my soul to break free. Everything that you did today, everything that you're doing right now is just an attempt of your soul to break free. Free of what? All limitation. What is it you're trying to break free of? I'm trying to break free of all limitation. What are you trying to break free of? I want to break free of all limitation. Why do you want to break free of all limitation? To once again rest. What do you want to do? I want to rest. What is that? I want to recline. What do you want to recline in? I want to recline in that perfect peace. What kind of perfect peace do you want to recline in? The perfect peace, which is the certain knowledge that only love is real. So how do you have certain knowledge? By recognizing only love is real. How do you want to have perfect peace? By reclining in the awareness that only love is real. How do you want to get past limitation? By recognizing only love is real. This, which is the same as saying only freedom is real. Only freedom is real. The yogi in his cave, but expresses the longing of that one's soul to recline in God. The lovers entwined express only the longing of the soul to taste, to touch the reality of love. Every time you are with your lover, you are just trying to taste and touch the reality of love. Every time you are entwined with a lover, you are just trying to taste and touch love's reality. Love is God. Love is God. So you're trying to touch God. You're trying to touch love when you're trying to touch God. God is but love. God is but love. God is but love. God is love. God is love. God is love. God is love. So that means that everything reflects to you through the sensory apparatus of the body-mind the longing of all creation to know with perfect certainty the living presence of the one whom I called Abba, which is God. What in the heck does that mean? It means that everything that you are experiencing, everything that you're experiencing through your body, everything that you are experiencing through your senses are a reflection of your longing to know all creation, to know the perfect presence, to have a perfect certainty of God. Everything that you're doing is to have a perfect certainty of love, is to have a perfect certainty of God. So what do you do in the way of knowing? What do you do in the way of knowing? Well, in the way of knowing, it must come to pass that your mind is going to have to be converted from fear to love. We are in the process of having our minds converted from a fearful mind to a loving mind, from a fearful mind to a freeing mind. We are having our minds converted from doubt to faith. The opposite of faith is doubt. We're having a conversion experience in a sense. I'm having a conversion experience right now. I'm really trying to allow my mind to be changed from any kind of fear-based thoughts to nothing but love thoughts, from doubt to perfect faith. But perfect faith is not the beginning. Perfect faith is not the beginning. In the beginning, you don't have complete faith. In the beginning, you do not have complete faith. In the beginning, you do not have complete faith. And it is not that beginning and intermediate stage in which one is choosing to have faith in things unseen in the hope that they might materialize. So you don't start off in trying to have faith in the invisible things you don't see, in the invisible, unseen, in the hope that it might materialize. When you have perfect faith, I'm going to tell you how you can tell when you have perfect faith. When you have complete faith, Raj, when you have complete faith, you won't have any fear. Mighty companion, whenever you have complete faith, you're not afraid. When you have complete faith, you're not afraid. I don't mean that phony not afraid that's based on something on the outside going the way you think you want it to go, so now you feel better. A faith that could change in a second. We're talking about all the way through, there is no fear, because all the way through, it's been converted to love. So I'm going to tell you, would you like to know what faith is like when it's purified? Do you want to know what faith is like when it's a mature faith? Do you want to know what faith is like when faith is totally realized? Is the same as complete forgiveness. Complete forgiveness is the same as complete faith. Having complete forgiveness is the same as having complete faith. How can you tell when you have complete forgiveness? Do you want to know? Do you want to know how you can tell when you have had complete forgiveness? When you've had complete forgiveness, you have a return to peace. Do you know what peace is? Well, according to this, peace is total fulfillment. So when you have total fulfillment and you have returned to peace, when you have complete forgiveness, you have a totally mature, realized faith. And when you have a totally mature and realized faith, you have absolutely no fear, because fear has been cast out. So you have the knowledge. And what is knowledge? How can a person tell when they really have knowledge? Well, a person can tell when they really have knowledge, because at the point that you really have knowledge, which is absolute certainty, Absolute certainty is knowledge. How can you tell when you have absolute knowledge? Because to you, only love is real. The only thing that will be real to you is freedom. The only thing that will be real to you is freedom. So love, beloved friends, love is the essence of everything that you are. The very basic part of you, your fundamental self is love. Love is the essence of all that dances as a temporary reflection before the eyes of your very body mind. There is no one, there is nothing you can look upon whose essence isn't love. No matter, I don't care what you're looking at, I don't care what you're hearing, no matter what you're looking at, no matter what you're hearing, no matter what people are around you, no matter what you're seeing on the news, no matter what you're reading in the newspaper, no matter what you are experiencing in your day-to-day life, no matter how you are experiencing it, the essence of it is love. There is nothing you can experience whose essence is not love. There's nothing that you can experience whose essence is not love. Wow. Robin, welcome. Deborah, welcome. Jerry, welcome. And that's right, CJ, the way you just said that, I needed to hear that again. Perfect faith cast out every bit of fear. The way of mastery keeps me from fooling myself. Because I don't know about you, but sometimes I think I'm further along than I really am. And sometimes I find out that I'm not as far as I think I am, but I'm further than I thought I was. And now further than I used to be. So what is the only question? What is the only question? That's the next section. What is the only question? Remember, you are not a victim of anything.
I'm not a victim of the future, not a victim of the past, not a victim of anything that really doesn't last. I'm not a victim of the world I see, not a victim of the world I see. 'Cause what's happening now is what I've done to me.
Oh, yeah. So what's the only question? The only question then is, here's your only question. I hope you're ready for your only question. Your only question is, are you willing to make the journey? Are you willing to make the journey from fear to love? Are you willing to make the journey from fear to love? Come on now. Are you willing to make the journey from fear to love? As you look upon anything, are you willing to make the journey from fear to love? Are you willing to make the journey from fear to love, no matter what the emotion that you're feeling right now? I know there may be some things happening in your life that you may be making yourself feel fear about right now. Are you willing to take the journey with me from that fear to love? Are you willing to go from fear to freedom? I am willing to go from fear to freedom. I am willing to go from fear to freedom. Are you willing to go from fear to freedom with me? So, what is it that can obstruct you? Well, there can be nothing that obstructs you from you. There can be nothing that obstructs from you the light and presence of God. Nothing can block God. There's nothing that can block your Creator. There is nothing that can obstruct you, the light, and the presence of your Creator. To perceive the real world of love. How do you perceive the real world of love? I want to see the real world of love. Well, the way that you see the real world of love is to know with perfect certainty that you and your Creator are one. Would you like to see the real world of love? Would you like to see the real world of freedom? Well, there's only one way that you can have the real world of love. There's only one way you can see the real world of love. That's when you have the absolute, complete certainty, no doubt, that you and your Father, Mother God are one. I will see the love when I realize that I'm one and the same with my Creator. You will see nothing but love when you recognize that you are one with your Creator. When you remember only your loving thoughts, what would you like, how do you want to make it happen that love is the only thing you see? Would you like love to be the only thing you see? Well, in order to make love the only thing that you see, you must remember only your loving thoughts. Don't forget your loving thoughts. Don't forget your loving thoughts. Don't forget your loving thoughts, and love will be all that you're looking at. Would you like for love to be the only thing that you ever see? Would you like love to be the only thing that you ever look at? Remember only your loving thoughts. Remember only your thoughts of freedom. Remember only thoughts of freedom. Remember only thoughts of freedom. Thoughts of freedom are thoughts of love. If you only have thoughts of freedom, you will only see freedom. To remember your loving thoughts. When I say remember your loving thoughts, I think I'd like to give you some clarity about that if you're open to it. Are you open to me giving you clarity about what remembering your loving thoughts mean? Well, remembering your loving thoughts means that as you look at the past, you decide to ignore those thoughts that are less than loving. As you look back on the things that have happened to you in the past, ignore the thoughts that are less than loving. As you look back over the events of the past, ignore the thoughts that are less than loving. So, remembering only the loving thoughts means that, in truth, you never do really look at the past. I want you to be rest assured about something. If you are having a memory right now, but if you're having the memory right now, you're really having a present experience of that memory right now. If you have a memory right now, you're having a present experience of that memory right now. It's absolutely impossible to think about the past because thinking occurs right now. So in truth, you're never really thinking about the past. Even if you're thinking about the past right now, you're doing it right now. You will look upon the past as you choose to be in the present. So even though you're looking at the past, you are in the present looking at the past. If you are still carrying the effects of the less than loving reactions, this is what you should do. Would you like to know what you should do if you're still carrying less than loving reactions and perceptions you have made of your past? Then you will continue to see the past as you always have. Okay, so what is it that will keep me looking at my past the same way that I've always looked at my past? If I continue to carry the effects of less than loving reactions. So what did Yeshua just tell us to do with less than loving reactions? Told us that we should absolutely just friggin' ignore them and remember only the loving thoughts, the freeing thoughts, okay? And if you don't pull this off, if you can't pull it off, big deal. Don't forget who you really are. The spirit that you really are cannot be altered or changed by anything that you're thinking. But your peace is affected by what you're thinking. Your real self is never at stake. Your soul is never at stake. Your spirit is never at stake. That which created us, it doesn't do anything but love us. It just loves us no matter what. So don't sweat it if you're not able to pull off everything at an emotional level right now. Don't sweat it. Don't sweat it. You can't lose the love of God. You can't lose the love of the eternal. But, Spirit is just trying to give us a much more peaceful experience of our right now. That's what it's really doing. So yet, as you look upon the past, if you would choose to be present, if you would choose to be the presence of love first, okay, I want to look at my past. I want to release some things from my past. So I must choose to be the presence of love first. Focus on being the presence of love first. So how do you focus on being the presence of love first? The way that you become the presence of love first is wanting only to see with the eyes of Christ. So seeing with the eyes of Christ would be your willingness to see with the eyes of love, which is the same as your being willing to see with the eyes of your true self. There will not be one event, there won't even be one event you have ever experienced as a soul that won't be immediately translated into perfect harmlessness. And something being translated into perfect harmlessness is for you to have the perfect realization that only a dream has occurred. Now I'm going to tell you something radical. I'm going to tell you something so radical that your analytical mind might explode. And it's simply this. You don't know it, but you're in the middle of a dream. You may not realize it, but this is a dream. You are having a dream. This is a dream. I'm not speaking it metaphorically, or it's not allegorical. This is a dream. This is a dream. This is a dream. So the way that you have things translated into perfect harmlessness according to the way of mastery is to, first of all, see everything that's happening with the eyes of Christ, which is the eyes of love, and then understand that what you are experiencing is a dream. It looks like you are awake. It looks like you are awake and watching and listening to me, but you are as asleep and having a dream right now as it is when you're asleep in your bed having a dream at night. You think that you have awakened, but you really haven't. You just are now having the dream that you are awake. You're having the dream that you are awake, but you're still dreaming. And when you recognize that this is a dream, that there is a reality behind the dream, but that this is a dream, that's when it will be translated into perfect harmlessness. Even though the part of us that believes the dream is real really gets upset when it hears that this is a dream and not your ultimate reality. Love looks upon all things and sees that there is no substance to them, except the love out of which those involved in that situation were longing to find a way to know the reality of themselves. Okay, so this experience that we're having right now is no more real than how we use this experience that we're having right now to know the reality of ourselves. If we're using our joining together right now to better know the reality of ourselves, now we're having a real situation. Now we're doing something that's real. Listen carefully here. Listen carefully here. There is nothing you can experience. There is nothing you can experience that is anything but the soul's longing to be the perfection of what is love. Everything that you are experiencing is an expression of your soul's longing to know love. Everything that you are doing is an expression of your soul's longing to know love. Everything that you are experiencing is an expression of your soul's longing to know love. Now, has your longing to know love been distorted? Oh, yeah. Yeah, we've been longing to know love, but we've had a distorted idea of what that is and a distorted idea of the expression of love. And that distorted idea and that distorted way of expressing love is what causes us what we think of as pain and suffering. And what is our distorted way of expressing love? Our distorted way of expressing love is we try to possess it. We try to limit it. We try to make love exclusive. That is a distortion of love. There is no such thing as exclusive 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 love. The very nature of love is that it's inclusive. Love is inclusive, not exclusive. Love is inclusive, not exclusive. That's a distortion of love. Seeing love as exclusive is a distortion of love. So, oh yes, to think that one can awaken to love, to think that one can know love and have love by building weapons of destruction must be totally insane. But the longing from which love arises, is absolutely no different than the pacifist who places a flower in the barrel of a rifle. It is no different than the mother who picks up and suckles her newborn son. The longing for love is one and the same. The longing for love is one and the same. This is why I have said often to you, Earl, Raj, I've said often to you that what is not love is fear and nothing else. What is not love is fear and nothing else. What is not love is fear and nothing else. What is not love is fear and nothing else. Fear is merely the contraction. Fear is a contraction that has occurred in the soul that has lost, temporarily, the sanity of knowing that it needn't seek anything for love. You don't have to really seek for love. I have a sanity of knowing that I really don't have to just really seek for love. I need to be open to love. I need to be love. I need not seek love. I need to be open to love. I need to be love. I don't need to seek love. I need to be open to love. I need to be love. You need to be love. You need to be open to love. You do not need to seek love. So when you fear, it's a contraction because you have lost your sanity temporarily. Fear is a contraction that comes from losing your sanity temporarily. And when you lose your sanity temporarily, you think you need to seek love. When you've lost your mind, your sanity, then you are thinking that you need to go out and seek love. When you have your sanity back, Raj, what you will recognize is that all you need to do is be open to love. Just be open to love and be love. Be open to love and be loved. 4. The attempt to seek love. If you seek in love, it only reveals that sanity is not ruling the domain and the dominion of your heart, soul, and mind. If you seek love, you know love isn't in charge. If you're seeking love, you know love isn't in charge. When you're seeking love, you don't know that love is not in charge. Any attempt to get is insane. Anytime you're trying to get something, you're in your insane mind. Only the insane mind tries to get. The sane mind is open. The insane mind tries to get. The sane mind is open. It's open. It's open and it's being. Likewise, any attempt to refrain from giving and receiving is also insane. If I won't allow myself to give and won't allow myself to receive, I'm in my insane mind. If I will not allow myself to receive the blessings, I am in my insane mind. If you're not a good receiver, you're in your insane mind. If you're not a good receiver, you're in your insane mind. Giving to get is not true giving. Giving to get is not true giving. True giving is not giving so that you can get something. True giving is not giving to get. But in either case, the heart must open. In either case, your defenses must be laid aside. In any case, your soul needs to become totally vulnerable. But that's yet in the perfect paradox of the spiritual journey. The spiritual journey actually is a perfect paradox. In the perfect paradox of the spiritual journey, when you fully allow vulnerability through the mastery of the keys of the kingdom. So what are the keys of the kingdom? What are the keys of the kingdom? What are the keys of the kingdom? The keys of the kingdom are desire, intention, allowance, and surrender. The keys to happiness are allowance. The keys to happiness are desire, intention, allowance, and surrender. I desire, I intend, I allow, I surrender. I desire, I intend, I allow, I surrender. I desire love. My intention is love. I allow love. I surrender to love. When this indeed is accomplished, that's when you will know love. When will you know love? When will you finally know love? You will finally know love when you master the keys to the kingdom. What are the keys to the kingdom? Desire, intention, allowance, and surrender. Desire, intention, allowance, and surrender. So, what happens in perfect vulnerability? What occurs in perfect vulnerability? In perfect vulnerability, you remember perfect invulnerability. It's in perfect vulnerability that your soul remembers perfect invulnerability. The world can do nothing to the one who only loves. If I was really only to love, if I was really only love and expressing only love, if I was really expressing only love, if I am really expressing only love, the world can't do anything to me. The world can't hurt anyone that only loves. The world cannot hurt anyone that only loves. The world can do nothing to someone who only frees. The world cannot do anything to someone who only loves. Only loves. So indeed, beloved friends, the beauty of every flower, the song of every bird that sings, these things are given to you, the holy child of God. You are the innocent child of love. Holy means innocent, God means love, so you are the innocent child of love. The sparkling waters, the vast expanse of the desert, these things are given to you. There is no creation that has within it the capacity that you as a human being possesses. Not even your whales, not even the dolphins can truly experience and realize the presence and the mystery of the Creator. But they do flow in perfect innocence and creativity, in the Creator's love, but their capacity to reflect, their capacity to know, their capacity to embody consciously that which love is not the same for whales and dolphins and other things. As a human being, you have a capacity to know love and to know God that no other creatures on this earth that are part of you have. And those that would perceive that seeking out a whale, or seeking out a dolphin, or seeking out a wolf, or seeking out a bear, or a crow, or what have you, will add something to their own nature, are yet caught up in projecting unto another form of creation that which you must embrace in yourself and for yourself. Because the body is the temple of the Holy Spirit. Your body is the temple of love. Your body is love's temple. Your body is love's temple. Your body is love's temple. Your body is a temple of God when you see it through awakened eyes. Your body is the temple of God when you're looking at it through awakened eyes. Where you are is where heaven is fully available. So heaven is fully available right where you are. Perfect happiness, perfect happiness, perfect happiness is fully available right where I am. Perfect happiness, which is heaven, perfect joy, which is heaven, is fully available to me right here, right now. Perfect heaven, 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 heaven is available to me right here, right now. Heaven is available to you right here, right now. That which you are is the love of God made manifest. You are the love of God manifested. You are God's love manifested. Raj, you are God's love. You are God's love manifested as Raj. You are God's love manifested as you. You are God's love manifested as you. You are God's love manifested as you. And when you remember only your loving thoughts, that means that right now, in the very present moment, this present moment, you are remembering. You are bringing back the facets of yourself back. You're bringing the facets of yourself back into the wholeness of the realization that only love is real. You're bringing your whole being back into the realization that only freedom is real. You're bringing your whole being back into the realization that only love is real. For example, yes, my dog just died. Yes, my husband just left me. These are just the external forms bouncing around in the field of change. What happens when something seems to die? What happens when it seems like a situation changes? It just means I'm having an external form bouncing around in the field of change. This is a change field. What do you call this? A field of change. This is a field that changes. This is a field that changes. But the essence hasn't left you because you are free to love. You are free. You are free. You are free to do what? What is it that you are free to do? You are free to make the energetic transition from one set of circumstances into the present moment. You are free to make the energetic transition. You are free to do what? You are free to make an energetic transition. Notice I said an energetic transition from one set of circumstances into this very present moment. You are free. You are free to do what? You are free in each and every moment not to live in fear. Raj, you are free not to live in fear. You are free, mighty companion, not to live in fear. Not to live in that great fear. What is the great fear? The great fear that you can't possibly survive. Don't keep living in the fear of survival. Stop living in the fear of will you survive. Stop living in the fear of I wonder if I'm going to make it. Stop living in the fear of I wonder if I'm going to make it. Stop living in the fear of I'm wondering if I'm going to survive. Because my teddy bear has been stolen. And what are husbands? What are wives? What are mates? What are careers? What are cars? What is money in the bank? Well, money in the bank, what is it if not the attempt of the little child inside of you to have and hold on to your teddy bear that you think will comfort you? So what is a grown-up teddy bear? A grown-up teddy bear is a husband or a mate or a career or cars or money in the bank. That's your grown-up teddy bear. That's like a little child has a sense of security in their teddy bear, and you know that the teddy bear really isn't taking care of the child, that it's the parent that's taking care of the child. Well, your teddy bear is your bank account. Your teddy bear is your specialness. Your teddy bear is your career. Your teddy bear is your car. Your teddy bear is money in the bank. Yet, the Christ within you can still love. The truth in you can still love. So what does that mean? That means in each moment that you seem to be confronted with the challenge that brings up within you your deepest fears of security, your deepest fears of managing the estate, your deepest fears of managing the domain you call your life, these things come not by accident. And they must come they must come without ceasing in a world of unceasing change. All of the different things that keep coming up and changing must come up within a world of unceasing change. For all that you look upon and say that you love, that you perceive as a temporary form of creation, is always dying and dead to you. There can be no peace in the world, but you can be the embodiment of peace. How can you be the embodiment of peace? How can you be the embodiment of peace? How can you be the embodiment of peace? Well, when you learn how to look beyond form, when you learn how to perceive the essence of all things as the longing for love, the longing to remember. So all I see is a call for love. When I look at the world, all I see is a longing for love. When I look at anything that's happening in the world, anybody that's happening in the world, everything that's happening in the world, it is nothing but a longing for love. It's just a longing to remember love. So if your mate leaves you, if your spouse leaves you, if somebody leaves you, no matter what they say, they are leaving you because they long for love. Anybody that leaves you leaves because they're longing for love. Anybody that leaves you, they're leaving because they're longing for freedom. When anybody leaves you, they're longing for freedom. But does that mean that you fail them because they leave you? Does that mean you fail them because they're longing for love? Does that mean you fail them because they're longing for freedom? Absolutely not. Because that would mean they were a victim of you. That somehow or another you were the one that was responsible for their happiness. But you've heard me say to you, and you've heard me say to you many times, there is no cause save that which arises within the field of the sovereignty of each soul. Love is always present. Love is always present. And there's no reason for staying, and there's no reason for going. There's a reason for staying and or going. And there's no reason for staying or going. There is no reason for staying. There is no reason for going. Love is always present. There is only reason to awaken. There's not a reason to stay. There's not a reason to go. But there is a reason to wake up. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up to the voice of love. Wake up to the voice of love. Allow it. Allow what? Allow the voice. Allow the voice. Allow the voice of love to move you. Allow God's voice to move you. It's time for you to allow the voice of love to move you. It's time for you to allow love to move you. Let love move you. So in the world, peace cannot be found in the world. Peace cannot be found in the world of fear and separation. Peace cannot be found, but you can be the embodiment of it. Because in the world, there's only the deep belief that love is absent. In the world, there's just a belief that we need to seek love, that love must be pursued, that you've got to go out and get it, that love has to be extracted from the forms of creation, whether it be a career, whether it be a flower, whether it be an ocean, whether it be a desert, whether it be a lover, whether it be a mate, whether it be money. The world is the belief that you got to go out and pursue it and get it. The forms of the world have no reality. There's no form in the world that has any ultimate reality. Now, what do I mean when I tell you there's no form in the world that contains reality? I mean that when you look at someone, I mean that when you look at something and the energy of wanting to possess runs you, and the energy of wanting to extract something from them runs you, you're already in insanity. You are in insanity whenever you want to get something from somebody. You are in insanity whenever you want to possess someone. You're in your insane mind. You are in an insane mind, Raj, whenever you want to get. You are in an insane mind whenever you want to pursue. You're in an insane mind when you are given into the energy of wanting to possess. You are already in insanity. Hey, but don't sweat it. Don't sweat it. Don't sweat it. Don't sweat it. Insanity is totally illusory. What does it mean when I say insanity is illusory? I mean that any attempt to live from that energy can only fail. So don't worry about it. If you're living from the energy of getting, pursuing, extracting, getting, then it's going to fail. So don't even sweat it. Don't even sweat it. It's an energy that's going to ultimately fail to deliver real love to you. But at the very same moment, the world is awaiting you. The world is awaiting you in perfect transparency. Nothing can block you. In the business of your malls, in the most horrendous traffic jam, there's nothing that's preventing you from choosing to remember only loving thoughts. No matter what you're doing during the day, no matter what's going on during the day, no matter what's going on during the day, nothing, I'll say it again, nothing can prevent you from choosing to remember only your loving thoughts. Nothing can prevent you from choosing to remember only your loving thoughts.
I'm not a victim of the world I see. I'm not a victim of the world I see. I'm not a victim, no, of the world I see.
Nothing can prevent you from choosing to remember only your loving thoughts. Remember 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 your loving thoughts. I'm gonna stop right here. And I'm gonna do a quick recap and really hone in on some of the main points. This has been a really powerful section. We got to integrate it. We got to let it in. Nothing can obstruct you. Nothing can obstruct you. And I want to thank you. I want to thank you for joining me and joining your mighty companions, being the spiritual family that we are. I really would appreciate it if you would like to share a financial expression of appreciation. As a full-time teacher, I really appreciate your financial expressions of appreciation and support of my teaching ministry. If you'd like to do that, show your love in that form, that would be most appreciated and helpful to me and what I'm doing. Go to earlpurdy.com, earlpurdy.com. And I am ready and willing to work with you on a one-on-one session called a clarity session, where we go deep into your experience and help remove all the blocks to your happiness in situations that are happening, using the way of mastery, using my knowledge of A Course of Love, using my over 30 years of teaching and studying A Course in Miracles, and my 40 years of doing astrology and numerology from a spiritual, divine way. So I have a lot of gifts to share as part of my expression of my love. If you're interested, go to my website, earlpurdy.com, and it explains everything about the services that I offer. And on my website, I have several hundred classes that are available for free for you to listen to and watch to stay focused on the truth for you. So I'm here only to be truly helpful. You're a total blessing in my experience, and I cannot tell you how much it means to me to have the opportunity to share with you, because we've covered some powerful things tonight. And you need to listen to these classes over and over and over again. Especially listen to them when you're most upset. You need the truth when you're most upset. You need the truth when you're most afraid. You need the truth when you're most upset. I love you. I love you. So there's a paragraph that I really want you to hear over and over and over and over again. And listen to this.
I'm not a victim of the North, I'm not a victim of the South, not a victim of anything, so what comes out my mouth, I'm not a victim.
You're not a victim
of the world I see.
I'm not a victim of the world I see.
Cause what's happening now is what I've done to me.
Now listen.
Help me out now.
Nothing can obstruct you. Nothing can obstruct you. Nothing can obstruct you. Nothing can obstruct you. In the busiest of the malls, in the most horrendous traffic jam, there is nothing that is preventing you from choosing to remember only your loving thoughts. 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 Remember only your freeing 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 thoughts. Remember only your loving thoughts. Thanks for communicating with each other. Thanks for communicating with me. You are awesome. I'm not a victim of the world I see. I'm not a victim of the world I see. What's happening now is what I done to me. Thank you, CJ, for narrating. Oh, yeah. See you next time, mighty companions. Awesome, awesome beings, you.